Hi guys, it's good to be back, even if it's just for a bit. This is going to be my last video. I think there's a lot going on social media that's more important than the videos that I've been posting. We also aren't totally healed up from the sickness that we've been dealing with over the past month, so I would just really like to take a break and enjoy some time with my kiddo. And I know you guys are probably out on summer vacation anyway, and you're probably doing all sorts of fun things with your families. At least I hope you are. So today I wanted to do a story that a little bit relates to some of the inequality that we're talking about in the world right now. And it is a Dr. Seuss book because we were on our Dr. Seuss week when we had to take our break. So we'll be reading the Sneetches today. It's called The Sneetches and Other Stories by Dr. Seuss. The Sneetches. Now the star-belly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big, they were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-belly Sneetches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneetches on the beaches." With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snort. "We'll have nothing to do with the plain-bellied sort." And whenever they met someone, when they were out walking, they'd hike right on past them without even talking. When the star-bellied children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if your bellies had stars, and the plain-bellied children had none upon theirs. When the star-belly Sneetches had frankfurter roasts, or picnics, or parties, or marshmallow toasts, they never invited the plain-belly Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then one day, it seems, while the plain-belly Sneetches were moping and doping alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I've heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappy. I've come here to tell you I have what you need, and my prices are low. I work at great speed. My work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine. And he said, "You want stars like star-belly Sneetches? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside. Then the big machine roared, and it clonked and it bumped, and it jerked and it burped, and it bopped them about, but the thing really worked. When the plain-belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start, "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties. And now we can go to your frankfurter parties." "Good grief," groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneetches, and they are the worst." "But now how in the world will we know," they all frowned, "if which kind is what or the other way round?" Then up came McBean with a very sly wink, and he said, "Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who. That is perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetches on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 each." "Belly stars are no longer in style," said McBean. "What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars so you won't look like Sneetches who have them on theirs." And that handy machine worked very precisely, removing all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Then with snoots in the air they paraded about, and they opened their beaks and they let out a shout, "We know who is who now, there isn't a doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without." Then of course with those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star now was frightfully bad. Then of course old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then of course from then on, as you probably guessed, things got really into a horrible mess. All the rest of the day, those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie just kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced round and bout again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept running through, until neither the plane nor the starbellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They will never learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day all the Sneetches forgot about stars, and whether they had one or not upon bars. End. So that's a really great story about inequality and how you can treat others all the same no matter what they look like. And I know right now there's a lot going on with Black Lives Matter, and we're in huge support of that. And this is obviously not a Black author. And I would encourage you to be reading more Black author stories to your children and learning more about the Black experience in America and just how we as privileged white people can be helping our fellow humans on Earth and making it a better place for everyone to live. This story does not have a STEM activity with it, but it does have a little social experiment if you want to try it with your kids. I put it in the description below. I'm not going to say it out loud in case the kids are watching because there's a little secret to it. But if you want to try it with your kids, I would recommend doing it with kids probably over the age of 5 for them to be able to understand it. But it's a social experiment I did in my classroom quite a few years, and it was always really interesting to hear the discussions that would follow it. And it really puts inequality into terms that children can understand. And obviously there's a lot more that we can be doing to teach our children about how they can make the world a better place. But hopefully this is one way that you can do that. I will continue to post every now and then, but my hope is to more direct you towards resources that are actually run by an African American author or by African American people putting together stories by authors who know a little bit more about this than I do. So I hope that you guys had fun with our social isolation education stuff that we've been doing over these past few months. It was really fun getting to know you all, and if we're not back in school in the fall, maybe I'll start back up again. But for now, we're going to take a break for the summer, and I hope that you guys will continue learning and growing internally in the most important ways. So, bye! Thank you so much. Hey, Judah, come over here. You want to say bye-bye? Come here, buddy. We're going to say bye-bye. Boom, 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 boom. You say bye-bye? We learned to crawl, so now we crawl all over the place. But you guys have really watched him grow up this past several months. It's kind of crazy. Thank you so much. We've had so much fun, and we'll see you later. Say bye-bye. No, that's okay. Bye.